Welcome back to another class on the treasures of Mishnayot. We are continuing in Masech Brachot in Perek Aleph, Mishnah Dalet. This will be part 2 of the Shi'ur, and hopefully we will conclude today for Mishnah Dalet. We did the Mishnah yesterday and the introduction. Today we want to see the Mishnah in an in-depth way. So the Mishnah began, B'shachar mevarech shtayim lefanecha, shtei berachot of Nekri Shema. In the morning you're going to bless two berachot before Kriyat Shema. The first one is going to be Brikat Yoter Or. The first blessing you're going to say is the blessing of Yoter Or. Shepitichata Baruch Ata Hashem Yoter Or V'Rechoshech V'Chatimata Baruch Ata Hashem Yoter HaMeorot. The first blessing it opens up with Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam Yoter Or V'Rechoshech, and it concludes Baruch Ata Hashem Yoter HaMeorot. That is the first blessing. The second blessing before the Kriyat Shema in the morning is Brikat Ahava. Hamitchila Ahava Rabab Ahavatanu Hashem V'yesh Omrim Ahavat Olam Ahavatanu. So you have to understand, Rabotai, there is two different texts. And how do we say the Ahava Bracha? So according to Ashkenazim, they have Ahava Rabba Ahavatanu. But according to the Sephardim, it's Ahavat Olam Ahavatanu. And v'chatimata, and the concluding blessing is going to be Baruch Ata Hashem Abucher Ba'amo Yisrael Ba'ahava. Bracha zo'ena potachat beBaruch lefi she'smucha leBirkat Yoter Or. If you pay attention to the blessing of Ahavat Olam, right? Doesn't matter if you're going to go with Ahavat Olam or if you're going to go with Ahava Rabbah. Ahava Rabbah is by the Ashkenazim. Ahavat Olam is by the Sephardim. So if you're going to go with the blessing of Ahavat Olam, if you pay close attention, how does the blessing open up? When you start the blessing of Yoter Or Uvrechoshech, you first say Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam Yoter Or Uvrechoshech. But why when it comes to the blessing Ahavat Olam, there's no blessing? You only conclude Baruch Ata Hashem Abucher Ba'amoizo Ba'ahava, but there's no initial blessing. So that's what the Kadi is telling you. The reason why there's no blessing, because this bracha of Ahavat Olam is actually Smucha Libirkat Yoter Or. It's called Smucha Lechaverta. It's close to its friend. That means it's almost likely to say that it's really one long bracha. I give an example. When we say the bracha of Al Divrei Torah, Ashkenazim will say La'asok B'Divrei Torah. But then we also say V'ha'arev na et Hashem Elokeinu. Is that a bracha by itself? Or is that part of the bracha of Asher Kiddishanu B'Mitzat Litzvanu Al Divrei Torah? So there's a machloket. Do we look at those brachot with the Asher B'Charbanu blessing as three brachot? The Al Divrei Torah bracha, V'harevna, and Asher B'Charbanu. Do we look at it as three separate brachot? Or do I look at it, no, that really the Asher Kiddishanu B'Mitzat Litzvanu Al Divrei Torah and the blessing of V'harevna is really one, because the Smucha Lechavert is close to it, and the blessing of Hashem B'Charbanu is by itself because it starts off with Baruch. Another way you can understand Smucha Lechavert, that the blessing is close to its friend, meaning to another blessing, when you say Asher Yatar in the morning. You say Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam Asher Yatar Or, Asher Yatar Et Adam B'Chochma U'Ba'arav, etc., etc. Baruch Ata Hashem Rofech Ol Basar U'Mufli La'asot. But how do you begin the next bracha? Elokai neshama shenatat bi. Wait, but where's the blessing of Baruch Ata Hashem in the Elokai? You have the concluding blessing, but you don't have the starting blessing. Same concept. There's the concept that's called in Halacha Smucha Lechaverta. And to even give you a nice, clear understanding, that's when you begin the Shemona Esrei, you start Amonai Sefatai Tiftach Ufi Agiti Latecha. You say Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu Elokei Avotenu, and if you pay close attention, you conclude Baruch Ata Hashem Magen Avraham. And if you ever paid attention after that, does any one of them open up with brachot? No, not one of them. Ata Gibur, Ata Kadosh, Slach Lanu, Rafa'enu, Hachzerim B'Tusha Shel Malfanecham. There is not one bracha that opens up with a Baruch and Shemona Esrei. They give answers, whatever, they give answers on how to say how it's really 19 and so on and so forth, but I want to tell you why. How come each other bracha does not have a bracha? Meaning it doesn't begin with Baruch Atah Hashem. It ends with Baruch Atah Hashem, but it doesn't begin with Baruch Atah Hashem. Why is that? Very simple reason. Again, it's called Smucha Lechaverta. They are all basically depending themselves on the first bracha where it opened up with Baruch Atah Hashem. Okay. and that's what the Kahal is telling us over here. The reason why Ahavat Olam doesn't open up with the blessing of Baruch Atah Hashem, that's because this blessing is Smucha Libirkat Yoter Or. It's close to the blessing of Yoter Or, and Yoter Or does open up with the words Baruch Atah Hashem L'kir Melech Olam Yoter Or V'Rech Choshech. Fine. Those were the two berachot before Kriya Shema. Ve'achat la'acharecha. Then we said you have one blessing after Kriya Shema. U'birkat ahad mevarech la'achar Kriya Shema. Hamitchila emet v'yatziv v'nachon v'chatimata Baruch Atah Hashem Ga'al Yisrael. The one blessing after Kriya Shema in the morning is emet v'yatziv v'nachon. That's the opening blessing. And how do you conclude that blessing? Baruch Atah Hashem Ga'al Yisrael. So we see clearly over here, you have two blessings before Shema, one blessing after Shema. Mikan Kor'in La, from here they call this blessing of Ga'al Yisrael, Birkat Gi'ula, is the blessing of redemption. Ve'ena Potachat Bebaruch, it does not open up with the blessing of Baruch. Again, why? Lefishi Smucha Libirachot Shilifnei Kriyat Shema. Same concept, because it's close to the blessings which are before Kriyat Shema. Ve'af api shekriyat Shema mafseket b'nehem, even though Kriyat Shema interrupts between the two berachot before Kriyat Shema and the one bracha after Kriyat Shema, nevertheless, mikol makom, ho'il v'tzarich lahasmich emet l'sof Kriyat Shema, since you have to go ahead and you have to close, you have to attach the word emet to the end, right? Because we say emet v'yatziv. Since you have to bring the word emet v'yatziv to the end of the Kriya Shema, chashuv hi ki bracha hasmucha leberachot shel chanecha. It's considered to be like a bracha which is close to the brachot before Shema. Uba erev shtayim lefanecha, and we say in the evening you have to bless two berachot. What are the two berachot you have to bless in the evening? Mevarech shtei berachot ufnei Kriya Shema. You're going to bless two berachot before Kriya Shema. Baruch Atah Hashem asher b'dvoro ma'ariv aravim. V'chotem Baruch Atah Hashem ha'ma'ariv aravim. That is the first blessing. That you're going to say Baruch Atah Hashem asher b'dvoro ma'ariv aravim, and you're going to conclude Baruch Atah Hashem ha'ma'ariv aravim. The second blessing, Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amecha Ahavat. V'chotem Baruch Atah Hashem Ohevet Amo Yisrael. I just want to see something. I think we have, I don't know if we have Ahavat Olam. So I think we do have Ahavat Olam. Just give me 1 second. Let me see. I think we do have Ahavat Olam. Shh. 1 second. Because Ashkenaz, yes, Ahavat Olam. Beautiful. Okay. So that's good. That's very good. By Shacharit, our blessing of Ahavat Olam, Ahavatanu, is different than their blessing. Their blessing is Ahava Rabbah. Our blessing is Ahavat Olam. That's in the morning. In the evening, we have the same blessing. In the evening, we have Ahavat Olam, Beit Shamecha, Ahavta, etc. Torah, Mitzvot, Chukim, Mishpatim. Okay, that's good. Okay, fine. So we only disagree with them only in the one bracha before the Shema, in the morning. So one more time, where are we? Okay. Ushtayim la'acharecha. 1 second. Let's go one more time. In the evening, you're going to bless two berachot before Shema, which are what? Baruch Atah Hashem, Asher b'doro ma'ariv arevim, and you're going to conclude Baruch Atah Hashem, ha'ma'ariv arevim. The second blessing is right after that, Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amecha, and you're going to conclude Baruch Atah Hashem, Ohevet Amo Yisrael. Those are two berachot before Shema. Ushtayim la'acharecha, and you're going to have two berachot after Shema. Ushtay berachot mevarech la'achar Kriya Shema. What are they? Emet ve'emunu kozot. That's what we have. Ve'chotem, and you're going to conclude Baruch Atah Hashem Ga'al Yisrael. And the second one is going to be Hashkevenu Hashem Elokeinu L'Shalom. Ve'chotem, and you're going to conclude Baruch Atah Hashem Shomer Tam Shalad etc. And we're going to say, we have to say Omein. So over here he's telling us that you have two berachot which are after Kriya Shema, which is the first one is Emet Ve'emunah, and the second one is Hashkirenu Hashem Elokeinu. Again, if you pay close attention, Emet Ve'emunah does not begin with a Baruch. So we're going to say the same logic that we said in the morning Shema, we're going to say in the evening Shema. That it's Smucha Lechaverta, meaning it's close to the berachot before the Shema. Even though Shema interrupts, but since when you say Emet Ve'emunah, since Emet has to be attached to Ve'emunah, but really the Emet is also going back on Shema, we're going to say that it's really Samach, it's really close to the berachot before Shema. Same concept that we said in the Shacharit, we're going to apply it in the Aravit. So now, up to now we saw the Mishnah, where it says, B'shachar mevarech shtam lefanecha, v'achad la'acharecha, u'be'erev shtam lefanecha, u'shtam la'acharecha. We showed this part of the Mishnah. In the evening, you're going to bless, in the morning, you're going to bless two berachot before Shema, and one blessing after Shema. In the evening, you're going to bless two berachot before Shema, and two berachot after Shema. Now we want to move on to the next section of the Mishnah, where it speaks about achat aruka ve'achat ketzara. One of the blessings is going to be long, and one of the blessings is going to be short. Let's see this over here. So he says like this: achat aruka ve'achat ketzara. Pirushim, pirushim achadim yesh lepesik hazum. There are several explanations to how to understand achat aruka ve'achat ketzara. Lefi Rashi, according to Rashi, Misuvahi al shtei haberachot shel achar Kriya Shema be'erev. So according to Rashi, when it says achat aruka ve'achat ketzara, it's going on the two berachot after the evening Shema. She'asaknu bahen akshav, that we just dealt with them right now. Ubaha Mishna lashmi'ah, and came the Mishnah to teach us, Shebirkat emet ve'emunah hi aruka, that the blessing of emet ve'emunah, that is the longer bracha. Sheken kolelet hi harbe inanim, because it includes many things inside the bracha. For example, Yitziat Mitzrayim emet ve'emunah has Makat Bechorot, the killing of the firstborn of the Egyptian boys, Ukriyat Yam Suf, the splitting of the sea, Ve'ilu Birkat Ashkirinu Hi Ketzara. But however, perhaps when it comes to the blessing of the bracha of Ashkirinu, that's going to be considered to be a short bracha. So again, Rabotai, according to the way Rashi wants to learn this Mishnah, where it says Achat Aruka V'Achat Ketzara, it has to be going on the two berachot after the Shema for the evening time. And when I say Achat Aruka, it's going on Emet Ve'emunah, because it's long and has many things inside of it, like coming out of Egypt, the killing of the firstborn of the Egyptians, and the splitting of the sea. When it says Ve'achat Ketzara, and one of them is short, it's going on Hashkivenu Avinu. That's the way Rashi wants to learn. Continues the Kahati. Umitzifa Mishnah lelamed, and the Mishnah added to teach, she'asur l'shanot mematbeh shit'avu chachamim beberachot. Came the Mishnah now to teach that it is forbidden for a person to change the nature that the chachamim instituted when it came to berachot. Again, when you look at the language, mematbeh shit'avu chachamim beberachot, matbeh literally means a coin. Whenever you have money stays. Whichever currency you have, that's the currency that's going to be. So they want to say over here that whichever blessing the Chachamim have instituted, that's the blessing you have to keep it. You can't play around with the brachot and we'll see, say it whichever way you want. So one more time, Rabotai. U'mesifa Mishnah lelamed, the Mishnah comes, the Mishnah adds to teach us, she'asur l'shanod mematbeh shit'avu chachamim beberachot. It is forbidden for a person to change from the way the Chachamim instituted the brachot to be said. Continues the Mishnah. So now we're moving to the next phase of the Mishnah, where it says, Makom shamru laharich enu rasha lekater enu rasha laharich. So let's see. So he says over here, Makom shamru laharich enu rasha lekater, habirachot shamru hachamim laharich bahem, en adam rasha lekater bahem. V'chen hefech. Whenever the Chachamim told you have to lengthen in the blessings, like according to Rashi, you have to lengthen in the blessing of Emet Ve'emuna, you can't shorten that blessing. And so too in the place where the Chachamim said that the blessing has to be shorter, for example, according to Rashi, in the blessing of Hashkivenu, you can't lengthen it, you cannot make it longer than it is. You have to leave the berachot the way the Chachamim instituted it for us. So one more time. The blessing that the Chachamim told us that you have to lengthen in them, Ein Adam Rashai Lekatzer Bahem. A person is not allowed to shorten them. And so to opposite. That means in the place where the Chachamim told us you have to shorten in the berachot, a person is not allowed to go ahead and lengthen in them. Makom Shamru Lekatzer, right? In the place where the Chachamim told us that you have to shorten in the berachot, you're not allowed to go ahead and you're not allowed to lengthen in them. Okay. So Rabotai, up to now we covered the next phase of the Mishnah. Now we're moving to now he's going to bring us the opinion of the Rambam. All this what we're saying right now is according to the Rashi. Okay. This was according to Rashi. Continues the Kahat and he says, Aval Rambam Mefarish. However, the Rambam he explains, this statement that it says one long beracha and one short beracha, Musiva al shtei haberachot shelifnei kriyat Shema, ben b'shacharit u ben b'arvit. It's going back on two berachot before kriyat Shema. Whether you're speaking about two berachot before kriyat Shema in the morning time, whether you're speaking about two berachot before kriyat Shema in the evening time. Shekol beracha hapotachet bibaruch. The Rambam wants to learn completely different. That any blessing which opens up with the word baruch, v'chotemet bibaruch, and it concludes with a baruch, nikraat aruka. It's called the long bracha. V'she'ena ken nikraat kitzara. But if it doesn't open up with the baruch, but it closes with the baruch, it's called ketzara. So really the Rambam is telling us now that if we go back to the brachot of Kriyat Shema, let's say the morning bracha of Kriyat Shema, we're saying Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam yotzer or v'rechoshech. So that bracha opens with the baruch and closes with the baruch. So that we're going to call, according to the Rambam, that's called aruka. That's called the long blessing. However, when you go to Ahavat Olam Ahavtanu, since it doesn't open up with the baruch, but it closes with the baruch, we're going to tell you that that's a ketzara. Okay. Continues the Kahati. So therefore, and same concept is going to apply to the berachot, two berachot before Kriyat Shema. When you begin over there, Asher b'drom Ariv Arivim, it begins with the baruch and it ends with the baruch. So therefore, what are we going to call it? Aruka is the long bracha. But then when we say Ahavat Olam Beit Zamecha, since it doesn't open with the baruch but it closes with the baruch, that's going to be considered to be a short bracha. That is the way the Rambam wants to learn. So we see clearly that two Rishonim are going at it. Rashi wants to learn it's really going on the long and short bracha. It's going on the end. It's going on the end of the bracha. It's going after the saying of the Shema, and it could only be where in the evening time. Why could it only be in the evening time? Very simple, because in the Shacharit you only have Emet V'Yativ. There's no two berachot. That's why it has to go specifically in the evening time where there's two berachot. You have Emet V'Emuna, and then you have then you also have the bracha of Gaal Israel. 1 second. Yes, I think. Hashkivenu. 1 second. Emet V'Emuna and Hashkivenu. Correct. So there, the Gaal Israel bracha and Hashkivenu. Fine. Now he's going to go ahead and he wants to tell like this. V'zehu sheshariru. Now you can understand like this. And this is what it was taught in the Mishnah. Achat aruka ve'achat ketzara. You have to learn like this. B'shacharit. Birkat yotzer or hi aruka. The blessing of yotzer or, like I just explained, is the long bracha. Shepotach bebaruch vechotem bebaruch. It opens up with the baruch and it closes with the baruch. Or birkat ahava. But the blessing of ahava, he kesara, that's a short blessing. She'ena potach bebaruch. It doesn't open up with the baruch. That's what's considered to be the short blessing. V'chem ba'arvit, and so too when it comes to the evening berachot before Shema. Birkat ma'ariv arevim hi aruka. The blessing of ma'ariv arevim is long. Birkat ahavat olam hi kesara. But the blessing of ahavat olam is short. Again, same concept. The blessings that open up with the baruch and close with the baruch, according to the Rambam, is aruka. The blessings that don't open with the baruch but close with the baruch are kesara. And now, according to the Rambam, the Mishnah is coming to teach you. Makom she'amru laharich enu rasha lekatzer, lekatzer enu rasha laharich. In a place where we told you that you have to lengthen in the bracha, you're not allowed to shorten. In a place where we told you have to shorten, you're not allowed to lengthen. What does that mean, Rabotai? Like this now. Bracha shetiknu ba hachamim piticha bebaruch v'chatima bebaruch. Asur l'shnota l'asota kitzara. In the blessing that we told you, when the Chachamim instituted that the blessing has to open with the Baruch and it has to close with the Baruch, you're not allowed to go ahead and change it to make it shorter. How are you going to make it shorter? By beginning the Yoter Or blessing without a bracha, but concluding with the bracha, or by beginning the Hashem B'Dorom Hariv Arivim blessing without a Baruch, but you're going to conclude with the Baruch. That you're not allowed to do. Koloimar, shelo leftoch ba bebaruch. Meaning, to how you're going to make it shorter by not opening it up with a baruch. V'chen lehefek, and so too the other way around. Baracha shamru ba hachamim shelo leftoch bebaruch. In a place where the Chachamim told you that you're not allowed to go ahead and open it up with a baruch, and adam rasha leftoch ba bebaruch. A person is not allowed to go ahead and open it up with a baruch. Again, it's going back on the ahavat olam and the blessing of. Right, it's going on Ahavat Olam Havtanu, and then also it's going on the blessing of Ahavat Olam Beit Shalmecha. And those two, since they don't open up with the Baruch, you're not allowed to go ahead and open it up now with the Baruch. Now we can understand, according to the Rambam, what does it mean? In the place where they said it has to be long, you can't make it short. In the place where they said it has to be short, you can't make it long. What does that mean? In the place where they told you to make it long, meaning you have to have a bracha in the beginning and bracha in the end, you can't make this bracha now. Take away the bracha from the beginning and just have the bracha in the end. That you cannot do. What about what they said you have to make it where it's made short, you cannot make it long, meaning if it had no bracha and now in the end it has a bracha, you can't come now and add a blessing in the beginning and then have also a blessing in the end. According to the Rambam, bracha aruka literally means it has a beginning blessing and it has a ending blessing. According to the Rambam, what considers to be an aruka blessing? Beginning and end blessing. And what's considered to be a short blessing? No blessing in the beginning, but yes, blessing in the end. Now, Rabotai, when the Mishnah continues to the next phase and it says, Lachtom eno rasha shelo lachtom, v'shelo lachtom eno rasha lachtom. Right, when it says over here, Lachtom, makom she'amru chachamim lachtom bebaruch, in a place where the chachamim told you that you have to go ahead and you have to conclude it with the baruch, eno rasha shelo lachtom bebaruch. You're not allowed to go ahead and not conclude it with the baruch. V'shelo lachtom, הברכות שאומרים שלא לחתום בהם, כגון ברכת הפירות וברכת המצוות. I got it. And in the place where the Chachamim told us that you're not allowed to go ahead and conclude with the bracha. For example, he says, blessings on fruits, blessings on mitzvot. Einu rasha lachtom, you're not allowed to go ahead and conclude with a blessing. שכיוון שאין בהם עניינים הרבה, פתיחתן זו היא חתימתן. Since when it comes to the fruit blessings and the mitzvot blessings, since there is not a lot of things that can be mentioned inside the bracha, they don't speak about a lot of things. The opening bracha, that is the closing bracha. He brings it down in the Tosfot Rabbi Akiva Eger. Now, Rabotai, with this we do conclude the Mishnah, but let me just explain this last piece. When it says, Lachtom eno rasha shelo lachtom, v'shelo lachtom eno rasha lachtom. Whenever it says lachtom, that means whenever it tells you have to conclude with the ending bracha, anywhere the Chachamim tell you have to say the ending bracha. For example, take Asher Yatzar, take Elokai Neshama, take our brachot of Baruch Ata Hashem Hamari Varavim, Baruch Ata Hashem Ohev Atam Yisrael, all these brachot, anywhere where there's the end blessing, you have to conclude it the way the Chachamim said it. And you're not allowed to remove that bracha from there. But in a place where they tell you you don't need to conclude with the blessing, you cannot go ahead and now put a blessing. How's that? What's the case talking about? For example, a person right here, I want to go ahead and say shakol on this. Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam shakol yeh b'dvaro. That means shalol, because what does that mean shalol? I'm not concluding with a blessing. I'm starting with a blessing, but I'm not concluding with the blessing. Or on the mitzvah, or let's say on mitzvah's tzitzit, mitzvah tefillin. Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvah v'tzivanu la'anich tefillin li'itatev b'tzitzit. But I can't say Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvah v'tzivanu Baruch Ata Hashem la'anich tefillin. That's what he's trying to tell you. In a place where we tell you you don't have the concluding blessings, over there you're not allowed to go ahead and start putting blessings. Rabotai, let's do the Mishnah one more time. Just in the Mishnah itself, so we'll get it down, and then that will be for Mishnah Daled. In Masechet Berachot in Perek Aleph, Mishnah Daled says, "B'shachar mevarech shtayim lefanech la'acharecha." In the morning you're going to bless two berachot before the Kriyat Shema and one blessing after Kriyat Shema. U'be'erev shtayim lefanech u'shtayim la'acharecha. In the evening you're going to bless two berachot before Shema and two berachot after Shema. Achat arukaha ve'achat ketzara. One of them is going to be long, one of them is going to be short. And we saw machlokit between the Rambam and Rashi, how to understand. And from them, everything else gets built on. Makom sha'amru l'ha'arich and l'shal kater. In the place where we tell you the bracha has to be long, you cannot shorten it. L'kater and l'shal ha'arich. We told you that it has to be short, you cannot lengthen it. Lachtom, to conclude the bracha with a blessing of Hashem. And you're not allowed to go ahead and not say the blessing in the end. In the place where we tell you that you shouldn't say the blessing in the end, and you're not allowed to go ahead now and start saying the blessing in the end. Rabotai, have a great day. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen ve'amen.